Domo, what is up everybody? This is official Jujutsu Kaisen translator Steady here. So Nanami coming in this week like the Undertaker.
That I wish you well in all.
This is why he's one of my favorite characters, along with like Yuji and Nobara and stuff, but definitely Nanami is up there. There's just something about an anime or manga character that, you know, is usually pretty reserved and stuff, but when you piss them off, they're, you know, they mean business. Something really cool about those kind of characters. But anyways, we are here for chapter 99 of the Manga Lounge Jujutsu Kaisen edition. So as always, I invite you to grab a little drink. I have my coffee here today, and also joined by volumes 1 and 2. They're on sale right now on Amazon, so if you haven't picked up your copies and was thinking about picking them up, I have them linked in the description, so feel free to click on that if for convenience sake. As always, I invite you guys, if you have any questions or things that you want to kind of predict, your predictions on what's going on and things like that, of course feel free to let me know. I appreciate the comments every week. But let's get right into it. Chapter 99, 100 right around the corner. Let's do this. Alright, so chapter 99 starts out with this little gruesome scene here. Got a lot of civilians running away, and we have this little kind of the one group. Actually, no, not just the one group, but we don't know a lot about Panda and Kusakabe, but we're not too sure what's going on with Maki's group in terms of the information that they have. And these couple of pages here definitely reinforce what I had kind of had my suspicions about, is that I think Maki's group is definitely kind of out of the loop in terms of what's happening with Gojo, that he got sealed. Evidenced by page 2 here, panel 2, says, and kind of Maki's thinking to herself, we can assume that idiot Satori wouldn't lose. But this situation is starting to feel off. So obviously she's still kind of in that headspace of like, Gojo is, you know, he can't beat Gojo, but there's something wrong here. So we can kind of assume now, this isn't 100%, but I'm pretty sure Akutami Sensei here, the intention is to say, yeah, as of right now, Maki's group aren't aware of the situation with Gojo, which can mean a lot. But at the same time, at the end of the chapter, as we know, Nanami kind of runs into this group here, so maybe he's going to fill them in. But at the same time, by that point, Nobara would already be separated from Maki and Nanami. But anyways, so again, another gruesome scene here. And we have Naobito Zenin just kind of like relaxed. You see, this is kind of, we can assume that he's very, very strong, but at the same time, he's only kind of looking out for himself kind of guy, it looks like. But I'm curious to see what he's all about. Hopefully in the next chapter, at least we'll find out more. Chapter 100, so maybe Akutami Sensei is going to go on all cylinders and just have everyone just showing off their powers. Hopefully, we'll see. Then it kind of flashes forward again to present time. Well, present time in around 9:45 it should be at this point. The thing with what's going on, and I had to kind of catch myself on this as well when I had this map here, you also have to take into consideration the timeline as well, where we see Nobara and Nita here running into the side ponytail guy. The curtain still isn't down, so Itadori and Fushiguro still haven't defeated Awasaka at this point, because by the time Fushiguro and Itadori defeated Awasaka, it's roughly 10:20, and this is still about 9:45. So it's maybe about closer to half an hour actually. So this little strategy right here on page 5 where Nobara tells Nita to run through Bunkamura and then through Tokyu. So Tokyu itself is a very famous kind of a department store in Japan. Not quite like Macy's, but department store in the sense Japan department stores are more kind of like they have these little shops within. And Bunkamura is the same thing. So this, again, another Akutami sensei using Shibuya's kind of geography for strategy here. Bunkamura is indeed connected to Tokyu right here. Hopefully I got a map going on right here so you can kind of get a better idea. So this is really cool. But then, of course, side ponytail, dude, we know that he... At this point, I think we're to assume that Ijichi is dead. Kind of with the panel with Nanami and stuff, so we'll see. But so Nita is trying to make her getaway here. And then this face right here by Kugisaki, man, she hits down the sword that he throws. And then Kugisaki, which I'm kind of surprised, Kugisaki maybe is a little bit more on the kind of impulsive side perhaps, because I'm surprised that she wasn't a little more cautious with this guy's power. She just assumed that he threw away the weapon, now he's unarmed, like, what are you doing, you're such an idiot. But I guess you can't really blame her. How is she supposed to know that this sword is kind of like has a mind of its own? Really creepy kind of, from Addams Family. I forget what it was. No, Cousin It is the one with the hair. I forget what the hand is called. Thing. I think it's Thing, right? Yeah. But then we see the side ponytail guy kind of dash off inside. And then we see Nita. Nita is not looking too hot right now. So this guy... So it's a very interesting power here on page 11. Obviously, the sword just kind of falls right back to him. And he makes a little comment later on saying, well, I'm not really too sure what the deal is with my curse technique either, right? But he's obviously very good as a fighter. He's very precise, kind of how Kugisaki comments here after she gets hit in the face and the cut to the leg. These are very precise strikes, and as mentioned here on page 13, panel 2, she's saying this guy keeps hitting the perfect spots with precision, so he knows kind of like anatomy, it almost seems like, and kind of where the kind of, even if it's a shallow cut, where the strikes are that kind of cut the tendons or, kind of rattling the brain and things like that. So of course here on page 14 we have this little comment about, that said, I'm not exactly sure what my technique is about either. So it almost kind of seems to have a mind of its own. He's not controlling it, is kind of what we're supposed to get out of this panel here. That they kind of have some sort of like agreement almost. Kind of makes you wonder whose hand that is too, right? So Kugisaki here is obviously saying like, man, I need to buy some time. So she's trying to kind of get him to talk a little bit. He says, what are you guys after? And then this is where he kind of spills the beans, saying, dunno, they said has something to do with sealing Satoru Gojo. So he knows what the plan is, right? But he's he's definitely following orders here. He's the one taking orders. He's not one of the ones making the orders. But she's like, no, I'm asking you, like, what are you after? And this little analogy here is really interesting. Even though he kind of writes it off and said, no, wait, that's a bad example. But what we're supposed to gather out of here, think about this. What if a person who loves soccer were to be born into a world without it? I think what we're supposed to get out of this is the guy is saying, I love, like, killing. But I'm born into a world where that's not accepted by society. It's very creepy, right? It's kind of very like a sociopath way of thinking, but yeah, I think is kind of an interesting angle that Akutami takes, interesting kind of way that they kind of explain what this character is all about. And he's just like, I don't care if, you know, as long as I'm having fun. And then it's kind of course, Akutami sensei with the humor bits here on page 17 and 16, 17. So, like, stop me, you know, like, make me, stop me from committing any more sins, he's trying to say, but he says shins. It was, of course, that's not what, he doesn't actually say shins in Japanese, but, in the Japanese, he just kind of, like, he messes up a word. So we did our best to just kind of, you know, illustrate the fact that he just messes up and he says, you know, oops, I bit my tongue. And then we see Kugisaki kind of hobbling up. She's kind of getting up. And then right here on page 18, the shattered glass. This is kind of the the Undertaker moment right here. And man, and then we see him just see the feet walking in, recognize the shoes, and we're like, oh crap, and we see a little image of him in the back there, and then just this face right here. Oh man, he is pissed. You just poked the bear. You just had to poke the bear, didn't you? Oh man. And then of course this little comment here at the end by the side ponytail saying, I can't remember. Is it okay for me to kill non-black suits too? Alluding to what the white-haired monk has said to him, saying when he gave the orders, the assistant managers like Ijichi, Nita. There was one more also with we haven't seen before in Harajuku that was kind of talking to Mei Mei and Yuji and them. But yeah, looks like chapter 100 is going to be some serious action here with Nanami. Hopefully it's not only going to be Nanami, and we'll get to kind of see what's going on with Panda and Sakabe as well. And like I mentioned before with Naobito Zenin as well. Yeah, but I mean, this week is a pretty short one. Not too much going on in chapter 99. But definitely you can kind of feel the calm before the storm with chapter 100 right around the corner. And remember, right now, as it stands, when Nanami appears in this stage and meets Kugisaki, this is still roughly right around the time that Yuji and Fushiguro and them find Awasaka and them, right? So depending on what the result of this is, by the time the curtain goes down, we're not too sure what the result of this fight was. So this is kind of a flashback as of right now, as compared to like chapter 97. So I'll stop rambling there. But yeah, that's it from me for this week. We'll looking forward to talking to you guys on for chapter 100, the big 100 next week. Damn. And of course, got a special video in the works for that as well. So hopefully I'll have that up by the time 100 is out, or maybe a little bit after. We'll see. But yeah, so with that, of course, as always, cheers to you. You know how we do. Mata yoroshiku.